All right, financial math classes. Today we're going to be talking about how to make a budget sheet. So we've learned from our Ramsey lessons about the importance of keeping a budget and making sure you are in control of what your money is doing. So now we're going to look at how to make that budget sheet, an example of one, and how to do the math behind it. The math is pretty simple. It's all just adding with some dividing in there. Let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to look at monthly expenses. You can use records of your past expenditures to prepare a budget sheet outlining your total monthly expenses. You will want to calculate your living expenses. These include amounts for food, utility bills, and pocket money. They'll vary from month to month. Other expenses such as rent are more fixed. These are called fixed expenses because they do not vary from one month to the next. Also remember to consider annual expenses, such as real estate taxes, which occur only once a year. So to figure out your total monthly expenses, you need your monthly living expenses, those that can vary from month to month, but you want to make sure you set an amount that you're not going to spend more than for those monthly living expenses. The fixed expenses are going to be the same from month to month, and then there are some annual expenses that you're going to want to figure down into how much that is per month that you need to set aside. So let's look at an example of a budget sheet. So we have a budget sheet from the Penders, and we're going to look at what they have. So we can see over here the monthly living expenses, things that are variable. They're not going to spend the same exact amount each month. So food, groceries, heating, their phone, water, cable. Like phone and cable, these things could almost go over to the fixed expenses. Sometimes they do increase, but those are generally the same from month to month. Gas, parking, tolls for your car, clothing, credit cards, random stuff basically, and then pocket money, and then other entertainment things. So what are the Penders' total monthly living expenses? So we just went over the total monthly living expenses. That is everything in this column here. So the total monthly living expenses and we're going to figure it out down here. So what we're going to do is add up all these numbers. And get the total down here. So we add them all up. 290 plus 45 plus 50 plus 65 plus 24.5 plus 95 plus 85 plus 45 plus 25 plus 60 plus 50 plus 20 plus 60 plus 20 plus 65 plus 22 plus 140 comes out to 1,161.5. So $1,161.50. So 1,161.50. All right. What are their total monthly fixed expenses? So we want to look up here. The monthly fixed expenses include rent, mortgage, cost for furniture. So if you have any loans or anything that you're paying out, that's in here. And so we add up those numbers for the monthly fixed expenses. So 625 plus 125 plus 200 plus 50 comes out to 1,000. So the monthly fixed expenses is 1,000. What is the total of their annual expenses? So the annual expenses, annual expenses is this section right here. So we need to add up all these numbers. And that's going to be the total equals for that's going to be right there. So 840 plus 750 plus 52 plus 100 comes out to 1,742. To find the monthly share, so this set, what must they set aside each month for the monthly expenses? That's going to be this number here. All you do is you take the annual expenses, 1742, and then you divide it by 12. And you get $145.17. So the living expenses. So now we're going to fill out what are their total monthly expenses. So we're going to look at this monthly balance sheet. So the total monthly expenses is going to be the sum of all those numbers. So we have the living expenses. It's going to go here. We have the fixed expenses, and then the monthly share of the annual expenses. We add up all those numbers. So it was 1,161.5, and then 1,000. That's a 0, not a 6. 1,000, and then 1,742. We add up all those to get the total monthly expenses. So 1,161.50 plus 1,000 plus 1,742. That comes out to, nope, and I added the wrong number because it's not the 1,742. That we need the 145. So this one, putting the wrong number there. We want the monthly share, so 145.17. So let's do that again. 1,161.50 plus 1,000 plus 145.17 is equal to 2,306.67. So $2,306.67. Do the penders live within their monthly set income? Well, so we have their monthly set income right here. So this is how much money they bring in each month. So they bring in $2,600, but they're only spending $2,306. And so this balance is you subtract those. So 2,600 minus 2,306.67. So they have $293.33 left over each month from how much they bring in. So yes, they're living within their monthly net income. They actually save some money. So what individual expenses would the penders find difficult to cut back on? So if they did not live within their monthly net income, what's hard to cut back on are these things, these loan payments. This was going to be the same from month to month. So this furniture, what this probably is they bought a piece of furniture and had to finance it, is what it calls. So they owe money on it. So that's going to be hard to cut back on. And then other things like you can cut back on electricity. Actually, before we go there, the annual expenses, so car insurance would be hard to cut back on. Car registration, that's gonna be the same thing. Yeah, so anything that is a fixed expense is hard to cut back on. But some things to keep in mind that, if you're doing your budget and you set aside $60 each month for new clothes, you're actually probably not going to spend $60 each month for So that's more money you can save. You know, if you're, you can, you know, cut back on TV. You can always, you know, save electricity by not running the air conditioner so often. So there's ways to cut back on money if you need to. But these things like rent and any loan payments you need to make, those things are hard. That's going to be fixed each time. So your assignment's going to be pretty much filling out a sheet like this, finding, you know, totaling monthly living expenses, monthly fixed expenses, that sort of thing. So the worksheet's on Google Classroom. Go ahead and get it done. If you have any questions, go ahead and email me. But other than that, we'll see you guys next time.